It was the path the Joad family took as they escaped the hardships of Oklahoma in the 1930s in the grapes of wrath.
California, here I come, right back where I started from.
It was also the road the Ricardos and the Mertzes took as they headed west on I Love Lucy.
How do we get off US 66, Buzz?
In fact, it was such a famous highway, Route 66, it even had its own TV show and a hit song.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
And what they all had in common as they finally entered the Golden State, all these travelers ended up going through and often stopping in Amboy.
So Amboy became the vital travel thing to Southern California.
Amboy was first settled in 1858 by miners and eventually became a water stop for the railroad in the 1880s. But it was the opening of Route 66 in 1926 that literally put Amboy on the roadmap of America.
Because California was the Golden State, it was the land of opportunity, and people recognized that. And plus, it was wide open, so it wasn't a mature state. Population very little, so people just come in there for opportunity.
With all those travelers suddenly heading west, someone else found a different type of opportunity. His name was Roy Kroll, a longtime Amboy resident. He saw dollar signs in each passing car. Entering California through the Mojave Desert was a shock to the older vehicles and their passengers, so Roy decided to make Amboy an oasis.
Roy, he ended up really running the town. And he had two daughters. One daughter, Betty, married Buster Barris, and so that's how Buster got involved with the town. Even though Roy was really the founder of the gas station, and if you outside, we have that Roy sign that ends up built in the 1950s. That's the iconic sign of Route 66.
The only stop for miles around, Roy and Buster and Betty built a small empire in the desert. Gas station, auto repairs, cafe, motel, and cottages. Amboy boomed and so did competition. Soon, a Texaco opened and then a Chevron station, and Bender's one-stop gas station and camp, which billed itself as comfort on the desert.
Mainly as the basic comforts of life, which is room, board, food, and gas, and repair for your auto.
The book, The Silence and the Sun by Joe DeKehoe, details the growth of Amboy and includes many of the historic photos in this story. Population of this wide spot in the road climbed to 65 people. Soon there was a need for a post office, a Catholic church, and even Amboy Elementary School. This picture showing the class of 46. Traffic flooded the small town and others like it along Route 66, and that is what led to the demise of Amboy. By 1956, there was so much traffic Route 66 couldn't handle it, so Interstate 40 was built, siphoning travelers off Route 66. Eventually, in 1985, Route 66 was decommissioned, and suddenly boomtowns like Amboy went bust.
They said overnight, everyone just fled the town, and wherever there were other businesses in town, they all left because the traffic dried up.
But in recent years, something happened. Route 66 is becoming a destination again.
With the social media kicked in, we're getting famous. We're getting more and more people visit us every year with us doing no advertising.
Visitors, particularly from foreign countries, are detouring off the interstate to experience life the way it was.
Ready for this? Voila!
Manny Lopez manages what's left at Amboy, where the population has dropped to 4. For many tourists, Manny is the man about town. As for the town's future, historian Albert Okura, who owns the Juan Pollo chicken restaurant chain, bought everything here more than a decade ago for $425,000. But he has big plans.
Hey, we're looking over here. This is the motel lobby.
In addition to refurbishing the original Roy sign, Okura plans on remodeling the cottages along with the vintage Jetsons-like lobby where half-century-old plastic keychains and rotary phones are still a way of life. Gas again is being dispensed from the historic pumps, and as soon as he can get a reliable water supply, Okura wants to reopen the original cafe, complete with the old counter stools that have been empty for decades. Though time and vandalism has taken its toll on Amboy, he says there's still a lot of life left in this old town.
I believe it's my destiny, and that's why my goal is to keep Amboy as pure as I can and keep it more as original.